Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Mechak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Alright, so today we're going to get into 1 Samuel, the 18th chapter. And let's get into it. So this is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 18 and 1, and it reads, "And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day, and would let him go no more home to his father's house." Right, so far you have Jonathan and David. They form a close bond, like a close relationship. And then from that day, Saul didn't want David to go back to home anymore, because he used to go back and forth and deliver food to his brothers, see how they were doing. And Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword and his bow, and to his girdle. And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. And it came to pass, as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the woman came out of the city of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul, and with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the women answered one another as they played. Okay, so right now you have, so after Saul didn't let David go back home, he set him over, he basically made him a commander over men. And, he was going out slaying Philistines, and, came back, and then the woman out here singing with the instruments, singing and playing the instruments. Verse 7. "And the women answered one another as they played, and said, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. So right now, it's basically saying David will be greater than Saul. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, They have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom?" So like David was, I said David's lock. Saul was very tight. It's like, yo, what the fuck? These women out here singing that I'm saying just mere thousands, and David is slaying tens of thousands. Like, what's up with that? And Saul eyed David from that day and forward. Yeah, he was jealous. He was angry and jealous. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house, and David played with his hand as at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand. Oh my days. So the evil spirit came upon Saul, and David is gonna do what he usually does when it happens, play the harp. But this time Saul had a spear in his hand. Oh snap. And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice. Damn. So he actually threw the spear at David. Yo, this guy. David was quick with three. He got up out of there. And Saul was afraid of David, because the Lord was with him, and was departed from Saul. Yeah, so Saul felt it. He knew. Samuel said it too. Like, come on, man. Therefore Saul removed him from him, and made his captain over 1,000, and he went out and came in before the people. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David, because he went out and came in before them. Okay. So Saul sent him away and appointed him commander over 1,000 men. And David, he was successful in leading his troops into battle, to and from battle. And Saul said to David, Behold, my elder daughter, Merab, her will I give thee to wife. Only be thou valiant for me, and fight the Lord's battles. For Saul said, Let not my hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him. And David said unto Saul, Who am I? And what is my life, or my family, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king? But it came to pass at the time when Merab, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David, that she was given unto Adriel the Meholahite to wife. Oh shit. So when it was time for David to marry Saul's elder daughter, Saul gave Merab to a different guy instead. And that's fucked up. And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. And Saul said, I will give him her, that she will be a snare to him, and that the hand of the Philistines may be against him. Wherefore Saul said to David, Thou shalt this day be my son-in-law, in the one of the twain. And Saul commanded his servants, saying, Commune with David secretly, and say, Behold, the kingdom have delight in thee, and all his servants love thee. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law. So Saul had sent his servants to David and just really say stuff like, yeah, why don't you just accept the king's offer? You're going to be the king's son-in-law. The king really likes you, so they basically tried to get David to accept the offer. And Saul's servants spake those words in the ears of David. And David said, Seemeth it to you a light thing to be a king's son-in-law, seeing that I am a poor man and lightly esteemed? And the servants of Saul told him, saying, On this manner spake David. And Saul said, Thus shall ye say to David, The king desireth not any dowry, but 100 foreskins of the Philistines, to be avenged of the king's enemies. But Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines. So, over here, you have David was worried about paying the price for the daughter of the king, because his family's poor. And Saul's like, nah, just go slay 100 foreskins instead. Go slay 100 Philistines and get their foreskins instead. But you have Saul over here thinking that him sending David to kill 100 Philistines, David would die in that fight because it was 1 versus 100. So it's like he thinks David will overpower David and get him killed. Because Saul is still very angry and jealous. So he wants David out of here. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law, and the days were not expired. Therefore David arose and went, and he and his men, and slew of the Philistines 200 men. Oh, okay, he brought his men then. Okay. And David brought their foreskins, and they gave them in full tale to the king, and he might be the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him Michal, his daughter, to wife. And Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him. And Saul was yet the more afraid of David, and Saul became David's enemy continually. Oh shit. So, in Saul's eyes, David was his enemy for the rest of his life. Shit. Then the princes of the Philistines went forth, and it came to pass, after they went forth, that David behaved himself more wisely than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was much set by. NLT says, every time the commanders of the Philistines attacked, David was more successful against them than all the rest of Saul's officers. So David's name became very famous. Oh wow. Would you look at that? Yeah. So yeah, that's the end of 1 Samuel 18th chapter. You know, so far you have, after David's victory over Goliath, he was greatly admired by the people in Saul's household. And then he forms a deep bond with Jonathan, which is Saul's son. And then, Saul over here becomes jealous and angry, and ultimately fearful of David, And then Saul's jealousy turns into hatred, because now he's trying to kill David. Tried to throw a spear at him, and then he sends him off to kill Philistines, hoping he would die. Now, come on, man. And seeing that the Lord, and Saul seeing that the Lord is with David, he becomes more fearful of him, because he knows Saul knows the Lord is not with him, and is with David. So yeah, that's about it. Lord, that was edifying. And until next time, Shalom.